The second biggest myth that people trying to declutter have is that once they've got the backlog of clutter cleared, they'll be okay. Not quite right. Again, I'll make the analogy to your conveyor belt. You have clutter that comes onto your conveyor belt, stays on your conveyor belt and comes off your conveyor belt. Decluttering is the equivalent of getting things off your conveyor belt. But the backlog that is built up on your conveyor belt can be decluttered and organised, but if you are still accumulating clutter at the same rate, then guess what? The clutter will reappear. So the backlog that you just decluttered and got quite a bit off the conveyor belt of will reappear because you will accumulate clutter again. So the backlog alone will not solve your clutter challenge. A huge number of my clients have discovered this the hard way. They've got somebody in who's a decluttering expert as opposed to a clutter coach, which is what I am. And they have got somebody in, paid them quite a lot of money, to come in and concentrate on getting things off their conveyor belt. However, within a matter of days, weeks, months, the clutter has reappeared. And they've discovered that actually, yes, you helped me clear a certain amount of my backlog of clutter, but actually I'm now getting new backlog clutter. Now that's why I will not work with somebody for just a day or two. I know that clutter clearing is a process, not a one-off event. Remember, I had my own clutter challenge myself back in 2001 and I successfully overcame it, and touch wood, have been clutter-free ever since, because I used and I identified and followed the clutter clearing process, which is the foundation of all the help that I give people these days. But because I know that it is not just the backlog of clutter that is the issue when you are trying to declutter, I work with people for at least a month so that we can put in places the habits and routines that are required in order to make sure that we don't get an accumulation of clutter again. We reduce the amount that's coming in and we organise what's on the conveyor belt more easily. So we put little things, processes, procedures, routines in place that are easy to do but make sure that the clutter doesn't reappear. So whenever you work with me, not only will you get time spent with me clearing the backlog of clutter, but we will also have homework in between which will ensure that we keep the clutter away, because we don't want it to reappear. So hopefully that explains why it is not just the backlog of clutter that you need to clear. It is new habits that we need to put in place as well to make sure that the clutter doesn't reappear.